That pretty much ends this documentary. And scene.
So what's next?
PsychOdyssey.
And send in the Psychonauts.
Oh my god! What?
Look at the tweets.
So just another day at Double Fine. A bunch of people gave us millions of dollars. We're gonna make a game. No big.
Do you expect it to go smoother overall? Yeah. I'm too old for it to go the way it went the last time.
I do think some crazy shit is going to happen over the process of making this game, though.
People want to really see what this is like. Let them see.
That's right.
Do you ever hire anybody that's like super weird fanboy?
What I understand about the original game is that the level designers, it didn't go great.
I'll fire him if he's bad.
Yeah. I was like kind of rough. It's like, oh shit, we're not doing anything right.
The stakes are higher, which is why the pressure is higher.
There's a lot of pressure.
It's sequelitis. It's all of the things.
It's important to remember that video games are made by humans, and they're trying to do some stuff that's like, it's basically never been done before.
And we can't just chop the fucking game in half. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
And that we're trying, and that I should just have faith in. I've heard that so many times in this room about so many things.
It's fine, isn't it? I want to be real about this. It's not fine.
People work so hard. Like, people work so hard here.
Probably coming from a really emotional place right now, so forgive me, but I have no idea how to do my job well right now.
There was no room for error, and then this coronavirus thing happened, so that's it. We are screwed.
I guess one of the obstacles during game dev should have been biblical, so here we are.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Double Fine PsychOdyssey. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. And as you see on the screen, I have a special guest. I'm so excited. I have Kevin Johnson, the director of development, who is involved with making this whole thing happen. And I can't wait. There you go. He's on the screen. I'm going to shoot off some air horns. Kevin, we are giving you all your flowers right now because we're so excited. We really appreciate you sharing a little bit about how this project came together, how you got involved with it. And yeah, I'm a gamer. We have a whole gaming channel here on our site called The Checkpoint. So I know the guys are going to be excited to check this out. But yeah, tell me how, I guess, number one, your involvement with Double Fine and how you got involved with PsychOdyssey.
Yeah, sure. So I've been with Double Fine for a little over 5.5 years. I started off as a producer, and first game I worked on was Rad. And then towards the end of Psychonauts, got rolled into that team to help get it out the door. You know, eventually the whole studio was working on the game. It was kind of all hands on deck situation to make sure that we were going to deliver the best game possible. And one of the unique things about Double Fine is that we have this internal documentary crew, 2-player productions, and they record basically everything that we do. And so, you know, over the course of the development of the game, in our meetings and just around the office and everything, like they're just there with cameras capturing everything. And so, you know, when the game was done, we had all this footage, and they just put in this amazing effort to put together this incredible documentary to show how this went from, you know, ideas in Tim's head all the way to the game that's on the shelves.
I love it. I love it. As an artist, I think all of us as artists, we just love to create, but then we also appreciate other art forms like reality shows where they kind of document the process and basically holds ourselves accountable in a way too, right? How was that for you? Because you think you're just coming into work and just do your regular job, but then you're in front of the camera and maybe you don't want, it's not you have an off day or whatever. What was that like for you to know that you have to be on point to do your job, but then also, hell, I'm in front of the camera. What do I do? La la la.
Well, I mean, so, you know, for me starting out, I'll definitely say, you know, the first month or so, I was very aware of the cameras in the room. But eventually it just kind of fades away and you're just doing your job. You know, certainly there's that moment where, you know, you'll leave a meeting and go, oh yeah, that thing I said, that's recorded. But otherwise, we're all just used to it, and we go about doing our jobs. And I think that's what makes this whole thing special, is that it really is just us doing our, like, we don't play to the cameras, we don't do anything like that. We're just there trying to make the best game that we can, and it's able to just be captured in its fully raw form.
I love that. And as fans, as a gamer, as fans of documentaries, projects like this are just so amazing and captivating and inspiring to get those next level of gamers, those next level of creatives, going. And then I think for ourselves to go back and take a look at the footage, maybe even fine-tune processes in a way. What was that like when you finally saw the end product and now it's rolling out to the fans and you're talking to people like me about this amazing, game, this amazing, series that covered it all? What has that been like for you?
It's been amazing. Just the reception has been so overwhelmingly positive. It's great to see, like you said, that people are being inspired by this. And yeah, on our end, yeah, we've used it to kind of postmortem some things in a way, because you remember things a certain way, but it's almost like you could check the replay, if you will.
I love it.
So we've been able to use that as well, but really just being able to share the process with the world and let everybody kind of really get that intimate, in-depth view of what it takes to make a game of Psychonauts 2 caliber. It's just a really special feeling, and we love the fact that we're able to do that.
I love that. And games take a while to make. How long was this whole process, if you will? If you can kind of give me some deets on like from concept to pre-production, production. How long did this all take, and then to then tie this whole this whole series together along with that?
Yeah, and so from the point at which Tim was feeling like he wanted to make the game to the point where we shipped it was around 7 years. And then after the game was shipped, it took an extra year to put the documentary together, because they had over 6,000 hours of footage.
Right?
That, they went through and watched and, found the storylines and, edited it all together. The whole thing is just amazing that it exists. And being able to just encapsulate everything that happens over that period of time into digestible chunks that then tell a whole story across the whole thing. It's really incredible.
I love that. Props to the editing team, everybody, those behind the scenes people that everybody forgets. And I think also with documentaries, especially on a game, everybody sees the glitz and gloss of the game, but the actual people behind it, just in every way. And then to do a series of how this was made, just props on everyone all aboard. Everybody gets their flowers. So as you were doing this for you, was there any moments that are really special for you? And I know this also, I'm assuming was during the pandemic, and that had to be a major player with all of this, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, most of the development was pre-pandemic, and then, we have there's actually an episode kind of dedicated to that transition to, working from home. Everyone's a box in Zoom, transitioning to new tools that we have to use in order to collaborate. It was a major shift for us, and just kind of learning this new way of working top to bottom and making a game. And we struggled with the idea of can you even finish a game in this environment? We didn't know. There were a lot of questions going into it. Actually, one of the lines in the documentary that's noted was when we were talking to Microsoft about when the game was going to come out, and we were listing our risks. Global pandemic was not on our list of risks, so we didn't have a mitigation strategy. So it's something we just had to figure out on the fly, and it's a real testament to everyone at Double Fine, that we were able to figure out what we needed to do in order to finish this game.
Bravo, and you did it. So yeah, special moment for you while in this, or something you learned during this whole process that you're taking with you now forward with other projects.
Probably the biggest thing is just that, I already knew this ahead of time, but just super highlighted. We just have an incredible group of people at Double Fine. Again, being able to figure this whole situation out on the fly, with deadlines looming, and still keeping the quality where we needed it to be, delivering the game that we wanted to deliver was great. There's a little bit of highlight of the boss fights that I got to work on. So it's kind of fun to go back and, see the early days of that and the ideas that we had and kind of, that whole process coming together again. It's always nice to be able to look back on that and just see, seeing the process is just as exciting for us as it is for people outside of the studio.
I dig it and I love it. And let's not forget though, with reality shows, you become a little bit of a star here. You're already stars in ours because you make us great games. But now kind of seeing this kind of other aspect of it, people now are going to know, hey, that's Kevin Johnson. Hey, that's Tim. That's, have anybody hit you up in those respects? And what does that feel like to be sort of a semi, B-list, C-list star, if you will?
Well, it certainly had, people reaching out to me, saying where they saw me over the course of the series. And that was, it's a little weird for me because, I tend to like to be behind the scenes, but it's still cool that people, take the time and, are excited to see that. We definitely had some people at the studio who, again, 7 years is a long time, and you definitely see some people, mature in their process over the course of that time. So they're kind of these more prominent people over the course of the game's development. And yeah, we've been at conferences and, someone will go, hey, I saw you in the documentary. And, it's definitely not something that we're used to, but, it's still fun because it lets us know that people care enough to watch the documentary, see, how everybody, managed to go through the process of the game, and came out, still thinking that we're cool.
Of course. I got to ask you now with so we're telling everybody about Double Fine PsychOdyssey, but I think I caught that you said 2-player productions is also an in-house element within you guys, right? So does that mean I could see more of Kevin Johnson and everybody else Double Fine with some other upcoming games? I'm sure you're working on something right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, they record everything that we're doing. So when we're in person, it was cameras in the corner, and now with remote/hybrid, they're in the Zoom calls recording everything, and so and that's in the documentary as well. So you see those meetings and kind of how we transition to that. And yeah, absolutely. The plan is to continue to share our process with our upcoming games. Everything's unannounced at the moment, so nothing to talk about there yet. But as those games come out, yeah, we definitely hope to continue to bring people into the process of how we make our games.
I love it. And we can at least tease that. We can't say what it is yet, but we can tease that more is coming, more greatness. And yeah, I'm sure all these nominations and these accolades of everybody recognizing all these efforts of what you did with the game and this behind the camera series with this is just marvelous. And yeah, you guys are well deserving of this. I have to ask you before I let you go though, Kevin, because we are nerds rule the world and you work at Double Fine, you got to be a nerd, and there's nothing wrong with being a nerd. We celebrate our nerdness. Outside of, gaming and PsychOdyssey, what is Kevin Johnson nerdy about that he could give a TED Talk on, is my question. What could you give a TED-style talk on, Kevin?
Oh, man, there are a number of things that I could give
I love it.
A TED Talk on. And it's actually funny you bring this up because we actually do these micro talks in the studio. I happen to do mine on the history of the Dreamcast because it's the greatest console that never made it.
That is very true.
So yeah, I mean, I could definitely do something on that. I've got deep love for Batman, so I could definitely get into it on Batman over time and portrayed in different media and all of that. Yeah, there are a lot of things. I'll leave it at those two for now. Also, I'm a big computer hardware nerd as well.
Oh, so you build computers and all that?
I've been building computers since I was in high school.
Love it. I love it. Well, Kevin, I can't thank you enough for giving me just a little bit of your time to talk about Double Fine Psych Odyssey and yourself. Now we know a lot more, and I'm sure all the fans are going to be hitting you up. Hey, can you tell me how to build this computer and maybe this Batman game or Dreamcast? I love it. Well, Kevin, if you have any last words to tell everybody about Double Fine Psych Odyssey, I'd love to hear it. And if you have like socials, you want people to reach out to you online, I'll also include all the links, everybody, to Double Fine Psych Odyssey, so you can check it out streaming right now online as well in the description below, y'all. But Kevin, any last words?
Yeah, just that, this series is really something special. It was amazing to be a part of it. Admittedly, it is lengthy. It's 32 episodes it's been cut up into. But again, it takes place over 7 years, and you really get to, you're seeing it raw. It's not, you're going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. But so worth it to go on that journey, having done it, ourselves and being able to share that. So I just really encourage anybody who, has an interest in video games, how they're made, or just the people who make games, because really the series is about the people and kind of what we go through as a group. Just highly encourage everybody to go watch it, and we'd love to know what you think.
I love it. I will stress that as a creative myself, I love that kind of content. The good, the bad, the ugly, you want that, because sometimes, just certain documentaries just kind of gloss over things, and you want to see all facets, especially if you want to enter into this type of industry. So thank you for sharing of yourself, Kevin, with that. The whole team at Double Fine, this is amazing. Can't wait to check it out. Everybody, it's your boy Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Kevin Johnson, Director of Development over at Double Fine Psych Odyssey. All the links are in the description below. Go check that out right now. Since you're done watching this, go see all of that. You got 32 episodes. Go check it out. And there's more on the way. We're out of here, y'all.
On a scale of 1 to 420, how much did you blaze it when making the trivia parts of Psychonauts?
So what's next? Psychonauts 2. I look forward to making this game with you and all of you people.
Does this feel interesting enough?
Yeah, I don't like it.
It seems like it's just a problem that's not solved yet, not a problem that's unsolvable.
There's some shit about the gameplay that is scary.
You have to trust your team, even if you don't think they can do it.
Getting the rest of the money for the project is what Greg is doing full-time all the time now.
What do you think's gonna happen, man? Where do you see this going?
I just wanted to point out that it is a departure from how we've typically designed things at Double Fine.
I don't think so, no.
If we have people just not working well together, things are gonna get tougher.
You guys all need to be pencils down on your game on November 2nd.
That's bullshit. I think we have to really prove to ourselves that we can make a really great level that we all love. And I think all the hard work is for nothing if we don't think this game is gonna be great.
I want to be able to create these experiences where people have no idea how we're pulling them off.
Ooh, look at this.
Oh, this looks good.
So much better.
And so there's a whole level about that.
God, that's insane.
That's a whole different level.
That sounds awesome.
It should be really cool.
Please join me in welcoming the founder and president of Double Fine Productions, Tim Schafer.
Now we can laugh.
I love the studio, and because of all of you, and because of the amazing work that we get to do here.
There's a bunch of people, you just made their favorite game of all time. And that's going to matter to them, it's going to matter to you for a long time. So thank you so much. Trying to make me cry, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to have feelings, but that almost got me.